I don't know. I might be making all this up, whatever. That's loud. Okay, it's been entirely too long. What are we walking underneath, you wonder? This beauty. Grandpa 66. Oh, that stuff just falls in your face. Anywho, we're going to swap the clutch out, which means we got to take the exhaust off. Great. We got to take the engine cross member out. That actually doesn't look like it's too bad. We got to take some e-brake linkages out because that's on that cross member. Great. And then ultimately drop the trans so we can replace the clutch. So let me get started. I'm not sure if I'm going to set you up on a time lapse yet or what, but you hold your horses. We got the exhaust out. We had to cut it because it goes loop-de-loo over the axle, and I want to redo over the axle anyways because look at this. See right there where it's dark? Well, the freaking diff hits it. And see right there where it's dark? The freaking diff hits it. When you're going over stuff and you cycle the suspension, the exhaust tips go up and they nail the rear valance. Look at. We don't want that. Okay, we got the exhaust out. I got the starter out. Let's keep going. Light in here. We got the e-brake cable and the drive shaft out of there. Probably since I got that drive shaft out of there, I'll probably take it to the driveline shop and have them balance it and everything because I don't plan on taking it apart again. E-brake cable had to come out because it's underneath this hanger here. So the next thing that I got to do, well, maybe not the next thing, but one of the things that I got to do is I got to get in the car and I got to take the boot and the shift linkage off because I got to make sure that when we drop this down out of there, we don't destroy the shifter. So I think I need to remove the speedo cable because it's naturally right in the way and it goes in the trans. I'm going to remove this throw-out linkage. Or I don't know if that's what it's called. That's what I'm calling it. That's the throw-up linkage. Anyways, got to get that out of there. Start removing bell housing bolts. Gotta roll the transmission jack over here. And then I'll probably leave 2 of the bell housing bolts in place. Or maybe 1. Take this. I don't know. We'll figure it out together, okay? All right, we got most all the bell housing bolts out. 2 of them are in there, they're loose. But really the dowels are what's holding it up there. These nuts are off of these bolts. These nuts are off of these bolts. So once I push those out of there, that thing should come down. But before we do anything, we've got to go inside the cab and get the shifter loose. So let's go up there and do that. Well, there really ain't nothing going on up here. I pulled this off, but then this boot looks like it just pushes through the floor, which has got a tear in it. So I might look at getting a new one of those, but I think we just, yeah, because this is just pushing through the floor. I think we just pulled the trans out and drop it down there. I don't know. Is that not what we do? What do we do here? I don't know what to do. It feels like there is something going on underneath the carpet here. I don't really want to pull the freaking carpet out of the car. But this does go around upper part of the floor. Interesting. I don't know. I just don't know. Alright, I'll do some more digging and figure it out. I looked it up on the lines. You gotta take the stupid carpet out. Dumb. In order to do that, I gotta take the frickin' driver's side seat out and the rocker and... Alright, let's get started. Figured out how to get to it without removing both seats. I just am being lazy. So if you just remove the driver's seat, you can fold the carpet over. So now, this is like some sound deadening thing, it looks like, maybe. Stuff. I'm gonna cut this here so I can take these bolts out of the top of that. Loosen that guy up. And then, whoa, hold on. Then we'll be able to drop the trans down. So in order to do that, these 4 bolts were in there, and I had to lift the carpet up. So I removed those 4 bolts, and then you lift this boot up, and there's 2 bolts that hold it down there. Now these, there's some stuff going on here. So Scott Drake makes a kit to fix a floppy shifter. And I think it replaces the buttons too, which are these. Because when this sits in here, it saddles, or it gets saddled in right here. So I am going to order a new boot since this boot is torn. There's a dust shield on the bottom, which you'll see that in a second. And I'm going to order the shifter, I don't know what they call it, hardware kit or whatever, to try and help stiffen up the shifter. Because it's pretty sloppy. So anywho, let's go back under the car. Alright. Let's change the angle here so you guys can see more better. Can you see? Can you see what's happening? Hold on, let me turn that off. Yeah, you should be able to see something. I don't know. Alright, all the bolts are out. We have got to drop this guy out of here. This stupid handle is in the way. Remember, so now what we got to do is we got to shuffle it backwards and then go down. And probably go down a little too. Yep. Okay, see what this looks like here. We got to get out of the clutch with the input shaft. We got to come down a little bit because we're hitting the firewall. So we're clear. The speedo cable is also in the way. What we got going on here? So the input shaft is still in the clutch. Speedo cable is clear. The trans is just hitting the tunnel a little bit. There we go. We might be clear now. Try and go down. I think we're clear of everything. Now let's take a look at the clutch. So the whole reason we're doing this is because this guy is slipping. Oh, made in Korea. Okay. It's a Vallejo. I mean, it doesn't look like super suspicious under here, but we'll have to pop that guy off of there, take a look at the flywheel and everything, see what it looks like. So let's do that next, clean up the back of the block and this flex plate and go from there. All right, it doesn't look horrible. I mean, it's got some different colorful colors on there, and the clutch really doesn't look that bad neither, but it was slipping. So we got a new one. Hopefully the new one matches the old one, and the new one's better than the old one, and the new one works better than that one does. Okay, let's keep going. Tech tip of the day, a 1992 Honda Accord clutch alignment tool guy. This guy also works on a 66 Mustang with a 289. Pilot, same size hole, and output shaft splines are the same size. Only other clutch I've ever done in this shop, and I bought this tool for, was a Honda. Now you know. Okay, upon further investigation, what we're looking for is a reason why this clutch would be slipping, but there's not a lot of material worn out of that. So if you look at the throwout bearing, see how it's not, there's something weird going on there. You see how the center section, the ID of it is shifted over, but the bearing feels good. So I don't know what is going on here. That's interesting. That's not quite right. And the surface is not really flush on it. So I'm thinking what was happening is when we would disengage the clutch, so when you press the pedal down, it wasn't pressing evenly on the clutch plate. So you didn't have a lot of the clutch that was engaging with the flywheel all at the same time. So it was full engagement when you let all the way out, but as you were pressing it in, it was kind of dragging the clutch like in an angle. I don't know. I might be making all this up, whatever. The new one came with a new bearing. It's greasable. So this is where the clutch fork hooks in, is right here. So the new one is greasable. And this one, if you look at it, is smooth. And that guy's centered. So I need to measure thicknesses and look at how that's going to work. Make sure there's enough room for this to slide on. And try that out, because you can see from the way it's sitting, the new one is quite a bit taller. So I need to put some stuff together, double check it, and go from there. But that's an interesting find. That throwout bearing, there's a problem here. I don't know what's going on with this guy, but see the ID is not centered? That's weird. All right, another interesting find when I was trying to fit this new throwout bearing. So this guy goes in here like this. And listen to this. That shouldn't be doing that. Well, when I was looking at this a little closer, see this little edge on this? I don't know what happened there, but I'm going to file that down just a little bit until this glides on there smooth without you hearing a grinding noise, because that's not good, and then we'll go from there. All right, I just finished ordering parts, but I wanted to show you. I got the throwout bearing installed in there, and I got that all cleaned up, so this slides smooth, doesn't bind any. Put the boot back in there. Sprayed this down and cleaned it up. I was thinking about trying to take it apart and reseal it. Very quickly decided not to do that, but I did, however, find some slop in some of these. So I got new ones of these bushings on the way. This boot is good. It just wasn't installed right, so it was never bolted in the bottom of the car to keep dust out, but it's not torn any, so I'm gonna, well, there's a little bit of a tear there. Anyways, I didn't order a new one, but when I install it, I'm gonna install it better. I'm gonna get this cleaned up and get some of the dirt and stuff out of there so it actually cycles good. I got a glove on there and some other things to plug this up because I'm waiting for those parts. It'll be easier to do all this stuff outside of the car, I think. So I'm going to wait to stick this in there. But I did order the boot that goes on this on the inside of the car. I ordered the shifter bolt kit that's supposed to help free up some sloppiness. And then these bushings, like I said. Also ordered some oil, some friction modifier for that, because I'm also working on that car. But let's put the clutch back in this thing, why don't we? I found a hole that's letting in hot air. It's a speedo cable. So I gotta clean up some metal that's on there, but I'll stick a grommet in there and seal that up. So look it, we're just fixing one thing after another. There's another frickin' hole here for who knows what reason, so we'll put a plug in it. Just fixing things. That's what we're doing. Fixing the things that we find. And fixing them. Fixed! See? All you gotta do is look, and you'll find problems. You don't even have to look for problems. Just open your eyes, and you'll find problems. Something to think about. A lot of you out there doing safety squints because you don't want to wear safety glasses. You know, it's your choice, your eyeballs. Whenever I'm getting ready to do some safety squints, I think to myself, do I want to be able to see my beautiful wife again? Yeah, I make it, you know, personal. And I really like looking at her. She's pretty damn cute. So if I lose my eyeballs, can't do that no more. Also, if I lose my eyeballs, I can't even drive this piece of shit that I'm working on. Put your freaking safety glasses on, all right? It's not hard. Go get some. I just happened to, you know, got a whole bunch of donations. These are mainly from work. Get some safety glasses and wear them, all right? All right, I'm getting back to work. All right, the bushings for this and the shift linkage kit finally showed up. So this is what we're trying to resolve. This is the only one that has a lot of play. No, this one does too. And then on this end, there's a bushing that's in there as well. So we're trying to resolve that slop so that this lever feels a little bit better. So I got all of these shift lever grommets, and then I got this Scott Drake Super Shift Repair Kit, is what they call it. And I don't know what I'm doing, so I found this little button. And look at how much further worn down that is than the new one. So that's something. Ooh, that one's stuck in there. Alright, we're gonna have to figure out how to get that out of there. And then we gotta figure out how to get this boot off of here. So we gotta dismantle this guy. I don't really know what to do with that, but we'll figure it out. Alright, I got the new boot on there. I didn't record it because I needed all three of my hands.
New boot goofing.
New boot goofing. Well, all I did is I just stretched it over that T-handle. So I was careful. I did rip the old one. I found online and they said soak it in hot water, so I didn't do that, and I didn't rip it, so that's good. And then the Scott Drake Super Shift Repair Kit, these little rubber guys press in there, so I clean that up, and then the bolt slides in there, and then this is what bolts down to here. And then the little buttons, mine only had a spring on one side, so I don't know if the other one fell out, but I don't know. But this goes there, and then the shift button goes on top of there. So that I'm not going to put together until we're ready. I'll let that sit here. I don't know what this does. I haven't figured that out yet. But I could put this back together on there, and now these guys, I need to put these on here. So I got to take one of those out and go from there. See what that looks like. When you're doing stuff that you never did before, you learn things that you never knew before. So what I'm learning is this is one of the shift arms, and those are the little pins for it. And when I looked up online, it said that the shift lever had grommets. So I ordered 6 grommets, because you got 3 arms and you got, you know, 6 ends on the arms. Well, the grommets don't actually go here. This is supposed to be metal on metal. The grommets go up here. And this kit already came with grommets. They go right there if the bolt goes through. So we're not using any of those. So that's that. But what we will do, so we have smooth shifting, is I'll take all these apart, put some anti-seize on these pins, and put it back together, and then put the trans back in. All right, I got the clutch back in and the transmission back in, and with no mufflers, it sounds nasty. It doesn't sound the way that it looks, because it looks mellow. It sounds rowdy. That's funny. It shouldn't sound like that. Anyways, clutch is done. That car's back together. I think I'm going to vacuum it out real quick. Okay, we're going to go take this roaring beast for a test drive around the neighborhood. She's a ripper. I'm going to try and not hit the other Mustangs. Alright, here we go. Does not feel right driving it with this car sounding the way that it currently sounds. That's not what this car should sound like. I mean, the clutch is working, but God, your pedal's just like way up in the air by the time it does anything. I don't know. What happens if we try and take off in second? How the clutch pedal feels though. Maybe that's just the way that it is. I don't know. Anywho's. Alright, I'm gonna take it back in the house and then we're gonna eat some lunch. So this little guy right here, this is your pedal lever. And I loosened this up a little bit. It wasn't really tight, but I did loosen it up enough so that it won't fall out. But so there's no pressure at all on this. We go try and put it around again and see how that feels. Because I did not like it the way that it was. So let's see if that is mo better. All right, we're back out on test number 2 after we did our adjustment. And we're gonna go the opposite circle around the block. Or the opposite direction in the circle around the block. I mean, I guess it kind of feels better. I don't know. I really hate it, so. But to be honest, it's been so long since I drove this car. Maybe I always hated it. I don't know. Oh, EFI still does its weird thing that it does, so that's cool. I don't know if it feels better or worse or what it feels like, but it feels like how it feels like. That's how it feels. It feels just like how it feels like. Alright, now I gotta figure out which musical cars I want to do with which musical direction and whatnot and all those things. Relatively successful weekend. Saline, back in one piece. Red Mustang, mostly back in one piece. The exhaust needs to be done. That's gonna have to wait right now. I got other stuff going on. But we'll test drive this week. Hopefully it's good to go. And then we don't have to work on it for a while. Yeah, right. we'll be working on it again. Sooner than we want to, I'm sure.